much as though Disney has unveiled to us a brand new slate of their upcoming Star Wars productions. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had Kathleen Kennedy sort of unveiling for us not only brand new television shows, but also brand new movies, talking about the idea that Taika Waititi was still writing and working on his Star Wars film. Also revealed to us that Patty Jenkins is going to be doing directing a Star Wars film of her own in Rogue Squadron. But one of the titles that certainly was not talked about during this presentation from Kathleen Kennedy is the well heard of Kevin Feige Star Wars movie that him and the both of them actually announced several months back. It's been pretty quiet for the most part when it comes to any news for Kevin Feige Star Wars, but this week, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have ourselves some further development. This is actually coming to us from Deadline.com, letting us know that the Loki executive producer, Michael Waldron, has been tapped to write Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie as part of a new deal with Disney. So it definitely feels as though Michael Waldron's stock is continuing to rise there. He says, after penning Doctor Strange's Into the Multiverse of Madness and serving as the head writer and executive producer on the upcoming Disney series Loki, Michael Waldron is looking to stay in business with Walt Disney Studio in a big way. It says, our sources tell Deadline that Waldron has been set to write a new Star Wars feature film that Kevin Feige will develop and produce for Lucasfilm and Disney. This is just one part of the recent deal that Waldron signed with the studios that keeps him in business for some time. Disney did decline to comment, but it does say besides writing the new Star Wars film, the deal is also expected to bring back Waldron in some capacity for season 2 of Loki. Not only is the deal a rarity at the studios, it clearly shows how much faith Disney, Marvel, and Lucasfilm have in Waldron going forward, and surely should open the doors for years to come and many more high-profile properties. Obviously, if his work continues to do wonders here. So, guys, we hear that Loki executive producer Mike Waldron has been tapped. To me, I'll be honest with you. While I'm not super familiar with Michael Waldron's work as of yet, maybe you can kind of fill us in, Stuart, on maybe some of his other projects that he's kind of worked on. But I will say this, to me, this has just got to be a great sign for Michael Waldron, that clearly what you've been doing when it comes to Doctor Strange 2 and Loki, people are clearly taking notice of your amazing work. I mean, can you imagine the idea of having somebody like Kevin Feige sort of recognize, like the head of Marvel, the guy that wants to do his Star Wars movie, recognizing you specifically to come on board after everything that he's seen, what this guy has been capable of doing? To me, that just kind of gives me uber confidence when it comes to Doctor Strange. I mean, I think we already knew that movie was going to be off the walls and kind of crazy in its own right. I mean, they even have Sam Raimi on board to direct that film. But so I'm already immediately thinking that Doctor Strange is going to be unlike anything that we've ever seen. And just based off of the Loki trailer alone, just kind of seeing the scope and size of it, the idea of maybe there being some sort of mystery element involved, it definitely kind of gives off a kind of a Star Wars adventure, if you will, from just listening to some of the dialogue and things like that you can tell from the Loki trailer. So I'm really excited for this. I think this is big things for Michael Waldron. So kudos to him for getting this opportunity with Kevin Feige. But for me, this just gives me even more confidence that Loki and Doctor Strange are really up to par. I mean, goodness, enough for Kevin Feige to suggest you. Yeah, I got to think that they're onto something great here. Let me go ahead and throw this over to you, Stuart. What else has Michael Waldron worked on as far as writing goes? Because it says he wrote Doctor Strange. It seems he's the head writer, maybe the showrunner for the Loki series.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm looking at his IMDb, and it's like one of the most underwhelming things I've ever seen. He's written one episode of Rick and Morty, and he has writing credit for Harmon Quest, which isn't even a show that requires writing. It's literally just people playing D&D. So I don't know, maybe he wrote some of the campaign into the series, I guess. So You know, this dude has, in other words, this dude has written some D&D campaigns and an episode of Rick and Morty. So this guy must have the most incredible agent on the planet to get him this job working on Doctor Strange and now Star Wars. Overall, it's like it's too early to judge whether or not this is a good choice. Like, I assume if Kevin Feige really sees something in this guy, like as he was writing for Loki, he must be doing something right if he's already now working on a Star Wars movie immediately afterwards. You know, so it's either that or, like I said earlier, he probably has like the greatest agent in the world. And dude, can you hook me up with that agent? Because
right.
oh
right. What this does for me is it makes me more excited for Doctor Strange and Loki. Because if they see what he's done with that, which we haven't been able to see yet, and they're giving him this other job, that means they had to be happy with something that he's done prior. So as much as I don't want it to, I want to temper my expectations. It's making my expectations raise for the Loki series and the Doctor Strange movie, and now I'm starting to get a little bit worried because I feel like, just like Wonder Woman, I might go in with crazy expectations on what these movies and this show's supposed to be. Loki seems like it's going to be incredible, like just the premise of it, period. And it just like, it's all, you know what I'm saying, like a full hands on deck, just going wherever you want to go with the writing. And it could be a similar thing for Doctor Strange. So seeing him channel to something where it's a little bit more reined in is going to be interesting how he writes that.
Yeah, for sure. It's also really interesting too. So with him writing for both Doctor Strange and Loki, one thing that also kind of comes to mind is just the idea that you know, a lot of people, I guess, when it comes to just the biggest complaint that you have the average audience making about the Marvel like universe in general is they'll say like the movies seem to play themselves too safe. But you kind of look at the trailers that have been coming out with the Marvel television shows, specifically with WandaVision and Loki, and even What If to a certain extent. And those seem to be where they're kind of leaving their comfort zone. Easiest way to say it. It seems like they're really breaking their format. They're really trying a bunch of new things. So it's really interesting that this guy seems to be doing like both the Loki TV series and the Doctor Strange movie. So it's probably, we're going to see him with essentially both formats of the Marvel universe. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he adjusts to both his different settings. I'm also like really sure if he's both writing for Loki and Doctor Strange, there's going to be a big tie-in between the two. I'm sure of it now.
It has to be. It has to be some type of tie-in if he's writing both of those, which I'm thinking at the timing of the movies to start off with, I really feel like Loki is going to have something to do with what's happening with the future of the Marvel Universe to start off.